Because I got news for you. As great as Luka is, and we all know he's great, you know somebody else who's having just as big of an impact as Luka is? His former sub, Jalen Brunson, who, by the way, helped Luka carry the Dallas Mavericks to a Western Conference Finals about 3 years back. That same Jalen Brunson, who the Dallas Mavericks didn't want to give $53 million to, and the Knicks ended up giving him over $104 million to, before signing him to a new contract where he sacrificed $100 million, which he could have signed had he waited an extra year just to ensure that the New York Knicks got their boy, Mikal Bridges, his former boy at Villanova, to come play with him with the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson did that. That same Jalen Brunson has carried the Knicks to a second consecutive berth into the Eastern Conference semifinals, courtesy of a 116-113 victory over Detroit in Game 6 last night in Detroit. Jalen Brunson, as I told you, was the star, dropping 40 points on the Pistons, including a late three-pointer with 4 seconds left in the game to seal the victory. So I'm looking at a Jalen Brunson, and I'm saying to myself, this is what he brings to the table. There's no doubt about that. Mikal Bridges showed up in the open court when you let the brother flourish. What does he do? He gets it done. He gets it done. Anunoby, can't say enough about the defense that he put on Cade Cunningham. Held him like 32% shooting for the series. Karl Anthony Towns, not impressed with his offensive output. We need more, but we'll see what he does defensively. We'll see. So that's just where I'm at with it. I look at the New York Knicks. I'm very, very proud that they pulled this out, that they got out of the first round, no doubt about that. They advanced to the Eastern Conference second round, however, where they'll be playing against the Boston Celtics, all right? And I'll get to all of that some other time. For now, for this moment, however, I'm going to get to somebody you all seem to love because he's got some things that he wants to say. He's got some things that he wants to add, wants to bring to the table. I can't imagine what he is, but you know what? It's Friday. I'm in a good mood. I don't mind letting my nephew come on the show. That's right, nephew Josh, joining me now to break it all down. Here he is. What's up, Josh? How are you, man?
You see me? I'm in full celebratory mode.
Are you sitting at my desk?
This is not your desk anymore. This is our desk. So it's funny. Once again, you letting your friends off the hook. So JJ Redick is just allowed to, like you said, he must be talking about Luka Doncic, isn't he? So
that's one of the things that's one of the people he's talking about.
Oh, well, Luka Doncic is so out of shape that JJ decided to play him the most minutes on the team. He averages the most points on the team. Mm-hmm. Second in assists. No, first in assists and second in rebounds.
Well, first of all, you're missing a point. Just because he played them, because Luka's one of your best players and you have to play him, and JJ Redick clearly showed that he wasn't willing to use his bench because he lost complete faith in all of them. He's just saying what you have to do because of how much you need it. He wasn't saying that the man is out of shape, he's a bum. He's saying that you got to be in championship shape to win a championship.
Oh, well,
that's actually factually correct.
What would JJ Redick know about that?
Well, JJ Redick didn't win a championship because he was never a star player. But he was always in shape, and he was always considered one of the best shooters in basketball. And by the way, I'm not letting him off the hook because listen, he should have found a way to use his bench. How you gonna go a whole second half of game 3 and not use your bench once? That's egregious. Right. You got to use your bench,
or not use a center. You want to use a center? You can't stop nobody in the paint.
He doesn't really have one. I mean, Jackson Hayes wasn't the answer. What are you going to do, Josh?
That's the tallest player. You play the tallest player. You the coach. You got to protect Luka.
No. There's plenty of tall players that were scrubs. There's plenty of tall players that weren't active enough, that didn't handle their business the way that you would like them to. You can't go by that. Just because you tall don't mean you automatically get inserted into the lineup. I mean, listen, you trying to tell me there ain't nobody on Golden State that was taller than Draymond Green? But for the longest time, they put Draymond Green out there and ask him to embrace the challenge of going up against bigger dudes simply because you didn't have guys that were confident, knew how to play and knew the system.
Does Rudy Gobert look like Hakeem Olajuwon if you have somebody out there with some height? 12
Yes.
for 15, 27
if
and 24?
if they can't play, yes. Because Rudy Gobert is like what 3-4 time defensive player of the year. But also, you know what? A lot of putbacks and what have you. Listen, the Lakers could have consummated the Mark Williams deal with Charlotte. They didn't do that. Okay, talking about he failed some physical or whatever. They got to go out and get a big. We know they were too small. They didn't have the personnel.
The teammates that they did have, though, you're not gonna play Jared Vanderbilt?
I thought so. I mean, Big Perk made that, and I think you got to throw. If you can throw out Dorian Finney-Smith, and you could throw out Rui Hachimura, you could throw Jared Vanderbilt out there. I think the problem is that Minnesota plays defense so well. You needed as much offensive firepower as you could possibly muster. Jared Vanderbilt doesn't have to be guarded. And that puts the Lakers at a decided disadvantage when they're on offense.
So I feel like the guy that was doing the most work on the team is taking the most heat. Even you just saying that Nico is not looking so bad today, you still gave away Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. You still looking bad.
Well, that remains to be seen. What if Dallas makes the finals next year?
What if Dallas makes the finals? You got Dallas.
You don't think they have a chance?
No. And you
do you think OKC got a chance?
OKC?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you realize that not only did Dallas bounce them out in the playoffs last year, but did you know that in the 2 meetings that Dallas had this year without Luka, they beat OKC?
Yeah, that's OKC. Maybe they match up well with them, but I don't think they match up well with enough teams in the West, Dallas, to make it to the finals, to make it through everybody.
All right, let me switch to the Knicks real quick. I know you were excited about them. I see you dragged out, and you better have paid for that shit yourself. You better not have charged it to my card. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm telling you that right now. You better not. But let me ask you this question: were you surprised the Knicks won last night?
Surprised? No.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay. All right. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Do you believe that Jalen Brunson is the greatest Knick ever?
Oh, you wasn't here last year. I changed his name to MJ. I call him Michael Jalen Brunson. I even put his head on the little dunk emblem, and because there's stats that show that, you know, he's right on that level of Michael Jordan. Like, you know, he may just be missing the Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, all put together, but he might.
There you go with your ignorance.
He
you
might.
Always crossing the damn line. You always going a little bit too far. Most 40-point series clinching wins on road in NBA history. Michael Jordan had 4. Okay, he has 2. Congratulations with that. We understand that. D Wade's up there, Charles Barkley's up there, Giannis is up there, or whatever. Stop with the Jordan comparison.
No. Can I do what you do?
Go ahead.
How long was Jordan in the league?
Jordan was in the league for 15 years total,
Right,
13 in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. So Jalen Brunson is about half that, and he's half his, 40-point game situation. So he's on the trajectory.
No, I'm just talking about his size and his overall game. He couldn't defend like Jordan. Jordan's a 9-time All NBA defensive player, 10-time scoring champion. So stop it. Don't display. Let me not show you how ignorant you are today. But let me ask you this: what do you think the Knicks are going to do against the Boston Celtics?
Well, we got to take it one game at a time, brick by brick. We're gonna break even in Boston, and then we're gonna break even in New York. It's step by step. We got to go 7 games. We got to make it nasty, and we got to fight. And you got to stay out the garden. Go ahead.
So I have to stay out the garden. Why?
Yeah, you're not. You only show when we at the brink of winning a series or something like that. You don't be there through the wars and stuff.
First of all, I've gone there during the regular season. I was on TV. I did a countdown from the Garden, for crying out loud. And I flew from LA to do the show from the Garden. That's number one. And that was the game. Yeah, they got blown out that game by Boston. Didn't even make it a competition. But I was there when they beat Philadelphia last year in the playoffs. Okay. I was there. I was there this season for a few games when they won as well. Don't put that on me. But I will say this. I think the Knicks are gonna lose this series in 5. I'm hopeful, but I think they're going to lose in 5.
First of all, you're talking to me. So when you mentioning them games that you went to, I know that it's for work. You don't go there because you want to. People like me pay our hard-earned money to go. You got a free
Hard-earned
seat.
money. See, you just lied. You just lied. First of all, hard-earned money.
I'm speaking
hard-earned
for the
money.
people.
Which one is it? You either stealing from me. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what you do. You take my card and you build tickets and then you let me know that you built the tickets. You just said that last week. So which one is it? Is it your hard-earned money or is it you saying I used your card?
I'm speaking for the masses. It's your money that gets me into the Knicks game, but I'm talking about for the most part, the people in there spend their hard-earned money. You get to come in for free, and you barely do. You only come when we winning. We don't like it. You talk about the Lakers, you want to be where it's warm. You're not from there. You're from here. You see me representing us right.
I spent, what was it? You just, this first time you wore that. This is the first time you wore that. So when I think about the Knicks, you don't know any better because you're a young whippersnapper. You're too damn young to appreciate it. But Bernard King, I know you've heard that name before. Patrick Ewing, Walt Clyde Frazier, Earl of Pearl Monroe, people like that. Carmelo Anthony. I would tell you that you got to put Walt Clyde Frazier because that's a guy that delivered a championship. Obviously, it was several decades before you even born. But bottom line is that's what happened. That's the champion. Carmelo Anthony wanted that smoke. He was damn good, but Jalen Brunson is next level. Ewing is there too, but Ewing was obviously continuously getting smacked down by Jordan. No shame in that. But I think what I hold against Ewing is how he got outplayed against Hakeem Dream Olajuwon in the finals when the New York Knicks had a chance and Jordan wasn't in their way. Then he let Hakeem get in his way. I can't, I gotta look at that.
So what are you saying that who's the best Knick ever? Because I did hear that conversation.
I would go with Walt Clyde Frazier. That's what I'm gonna go with. That's right. That's what I'm gonna go with. That's what I'm gonna go with. A champion. That's what I'm gonna go with. But let me ask you this, man. Before I let you get on out of here, what's this about you had about some GOAT list or whatever? What's on your mind? What's that about?
Oh, like I got like a GOAT list. Like it's a new one because we argue about LeBron and Jordan a lot, but it's people like Ant-Man that is like. He's on the trajectory. He's been on Minnesota. He was the number one pick. Every year he gets better. Every year he goes further. It's like, at what point do we start to like put them people in Jokic, 3 MVPs already got a shit. Giannis, your MVPs, defensive player of the years. We got to start a new fluctuating list. You like to call it fluid. I'm going to call it fluctuating. My word's bigger than yours. And I think we should...
Longer.
Huh?
Longer word, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's something that we could get into after every game. It could change up depending on what. I feel like Shea is on a
So in
crash
other words, you
course
want to
with-
have a GOAT discussion, but you want it to be something that changes after every damn game.
Yeah, because that's what the GOAT is. This whole Michael Jordan stuff, y'all don't let go. Y'all don't let go. Nothing new could come in.
Because we don't want to let go of facts. We want to let go of facts.
The fact
You understand? We don't want to let go of facts, Josh. Have you ever seen Michael Jordan play?
Yeah, I'm 36. Yes, I've seen Michael Jordan play. I'm just not moved. I was moved at the time.
Did you said you're not moved?
I was moved at the time, but now I know that y'all only show us the makes. What about the misses? He didn't win 6 straight finals.
Yeah, he won 3. He three-peated twice, and the 2 years that he didn't win was because he retired.
No. He lost to Orlando. I was there for that.
Excuse me. He lost in 90. He lost in 94
to Orlando,
right? And then 95, he came back with 17 games left in the regular season after playing baseball. I was there because he dropped a double nickel on the Knicks that year before the playoffs. You forgot about that, didn't you? That's right. Be quiet. Say goodbye to the audience and that your Uncle Steve just had to school you in your novice self.
We all know about the 55-point game. It's not enough.
Double nickel.
LeBron, 28 straight.
Goodbye, Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, he has to go. I've got work to do.